sometimes our younger generation of athletes, they don't fall in love with the process because social media has allowed us to push the product and not necessarily the process. And so, this kid that's doing all these highlight videos with, shooting this ball and shooting that ball, or catching this ball and catching that ball, he probably could have been 2 for 50. That's probably a different angle from the same catch. You know what I mean? And so what happens is we're pushing out a product, and then when our kids get to a place where they have to reveal themselves on the next level, it's not the same.
Man, all right, man. Stats Global Podcast. Welcome back, man. Another episode, man. Excited. Always good when you get to sit down with family and have structured, important conversations. It's not all fun and games. It's not bad. It ain't about what's not happening with the family. But at the end of the day, like I said, very powerful person I'm sitting right here with. Impactful, powerful, all those great things, amazing things, and I'm excited for this thing, man. I can't wait for y'all to hear his story and learn some more about him, man. But welcome to the Stats Global Podcast, man, the show where ambition meets real talk. I'm your host, Coach T. Each week I sit down with leaders, entrepreneurs, and community change makers to have raw conversations about their journey, their mindset, and leadership lessons. If you're ready to grow, lead, and make an impact, you're in the right place, man. Let's get it. So without further ado, man, I'm going to let this wonderful guest right here go ahead and let us know who he is and what he does, man.
Antoine Morris Jr, Danville native, coach at GWHS, proud alumni there as well. Also founder and president of the Danville Bulldogs 7-on-7, and we got some other things coming up with that as well. So looking forward to that.
Okay, man. That's dope. So we both alumni of the GW. It's a couple of them, but it's the GWHS in this area right here. Small city, like we grew up in and everything like that. So take us on this ride, man, from GW up until where you are right now.
Okay. The journey, man, if we're going to talk about the journey, I think I would have to go probably back to freshman year at GW. Anybody that played football in that 2009, 2013 era, we had to adapt a lot.
Okay.
We had to adjust a lot. We had different head coaches. Coach Newell had just left, and we had got Teague and Little Teague, who's the head coach now at Reesville High School. We had them. They came in 2009. And so I had them for 2 years. Then my junior year, I had Coach Bobby Martin.
Okay.
And then my senior year, that's when Coach Anderson came, who is currently still the head coach at GW. But I think my growth as a player and as a leader at GW, if I'm being completely honest, the one person that was like constant through all of the changes, got to get it to Donald Smith.
Okay.
Coach Smith was very, very
Currently the wrestling coach?
yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Currently the wrestling coach at GW. He was the consistent guy that was kind of not necessarily, I don't want to say the old GW way, but he's what I knew GW to be coming up, even as a kid. And he was what I knew for Danville to be as related to supporting GW. He's always remained the same. Always. He held you to a standard. So, and I was raised well by my grandparents and my parents. My parents were very young when they had me. So a lot of that parental responsibility was on my grandparents. So I've always been a natural leader because I come from a lineage of leaders. But when it comes down to meeting other people outside of your family, I would say the way Coach Smith kind of mentored me as a young guy, it kind of got me ready. And then I met this guy named Elliot Davis. I met Elliot, I want to say my junior year of high school. He was currently the middle school head coach at the time. And he had Victory Athletics. He had a small little gym, and I worked out with him in the off season, just kind of getting ready for senior year, because I kind of felt like I got snubbed my junior year. So I just wanted to make sure, what, don't matter who coming in here, ain't gonna be no question. Who the leader is gonna be. And I think my peers really respected that as well. And Coach Anderson respected that as well when he came in. Our senior class was really locked in, but that's because we were together from City League, all the way up. Yes, for sure. Like, these are guys that I still talk to this day. So that was the beauty of that. But when you get a hold of guys like Coach Smith and Elliot at the time, the mindset of always working started to come around, and just knowing that everybody's looking at you. And just being a proper leader. I really definitely learned that from Coach Smith. It's almost like another uncle for real. That's my guy even to this day. Like, it's always gonna be a dap and a hug. Like, he has no idea the impact he had on me.
Oh, well, he gonna have to hear this and find out. He gonna have to find out now.
For sure.
Oh yeah. Okay, so being high school football player. Did you play both JV and varsity, or you played varsity all 4 years?
So I was blessed enough to be able to attend varsity after JV seasons, both 9th and 10th grade year. Okay. And then, of course, I was on varsity 11th grade, and then team captain my senior year. Nice. So the grind was real.
Oh, yeah, man. That's leadership skills, man. On the football team, it's about 100 players out there.
Just about. The numbers have always been big. But, there were some guys, before me that was some decent guys to look up to at the time. Guys like Vic Lanier, Gerard Motley, Darius Graham, rest in peace. DJ Binion. Kevin Schuller, Tim Moore was a good guy. Like Javis Petty, it was all types of guys, and then like my brother Ahmad, and then were in front of me, Gerard, Chris Burden, Bobby Martin Jr., Travis. So it's like we had guys to kind of look up to coming up. So that's always a good thing too.
It really is, man. It really is, and it's kind of. What do you say? I think the lines of that is kind of blurred now. That leadership, friendship, teammate kind of thing. If we're in the sports, and we both coaching, varsity sports, so we get to see it a lot. It's a little, it's really hard to kind of see and find, like, before, finding, like, not as a coach. I think we were players. Captains were like a competition to become the captain. It was something that we strive for, but it was also something that I feel like as coaches, looking back on it now, coaches had to really make big decisions. And the criteria for captains had to really be there. Like, you had to meet those standards, show it. It was a lot to get that position. And when you got it, it was like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was that moment, sure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now I feel like it's different. Like, I don't feel like it's wanted. And, athletes are maybe, I'm not going to say scared. I don't know. I don't even know what the word is for it, but I don't, for me, and it's tough to say for females, because normally females are like natural leaders. It's not hard to, really get somebody to step up into that role and kind of just take, get the team. Or either I just have high standards for leaders. I don't know. I'm not sure, but
I think that has changed with the type of athlete that you want to be. Yeah. I could go back as far as like Little League, like with my dad and Uncle Moody, with Curtis Stevens, we call him Uncle Moody. And those were things that were kind of like instilled in us. Like, me and Q we knew we were like sons of the coaches. So it wasn't a big deal to us as kids. I mean, but like we wanted to work. And at that time, you know, when we was coming up, we ain't have social media. Like you didn't see us run drills. You didn't see us you didn't see us go through the process and then we taking a flick once we get it done and it's real clean. You know, like our generation was just one that like worked. You know, so I think this athlete, the generation of athletes that we have now, the process is different. You know, and you know it's the way I would say, I guess the way you carry your athlete or things that they used to want to be held accountable for, it looks more so like too much of a responsibility.
That's true. That's true. Well, I mean, we gotta, as coaches, we have to continue to adapt and, move with the culture, and not really the culture, but move with the athletes that are coming up and get that. But I mean, I feel like leadership is still like an important role and trait that's necessary. I mean, it sets the standards, sets the tone for your teams, for your organizations. And that trait goes beyond sports. It's in life, you know what I'm saying? Even if you're not leading something or somebody, you're going to have to lead yourself still. You have to continue that on. And if you're a leader within and can, kind of get those leadership traits down packed, then you'll be able to make sound decisions, you know what I'm saying? Surround yourself with the right people, things like that. And I feel like the youth are missing that a little bit, and it's just, I'm not going to say it's going to be a lost trait, but I wanted to continue. So I want to, do my part to continue to make sure I talk to them about, how important leadership is, but in a relatable way. And I feel like those are the things that I'm working on now. I'm going to work on some research and some, just do some deep digging to make sure I'm adapting to relay the message where they can understand it. Because, I mean, relaying it how we got it is not working. It hasn't worked. I've tried. It's like, hey, look, I know how it's not getting across like it should. But if it's able to be, the message is able to be sent out in a way they can relate, understand, get it, and, see that direction of leadership, then I feel like it'll come back around, so it's definitely going to be different, and that's, I guess, like everything else.
The dynamic has changed as far as it relates to parent, athlete, and coach. The process is where you grow. Yes. And I think that sometimes our younger generation of athletes, they don't fall in love with the process because social media has allowed us to push the product and not necessarily the process. And so, this kid that's doing all these highlight videos with, shooting this ball and shooting that ball or catching this ball and catching that ball, he probably could have been 2 for 50. That's probably a different angle from the same catch.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
And so what happens is we're pushing out a product, and then when our kids get to a place where they have to reveal themselves on the next level, it's not the same.
For sure. I agree. The social media part of it is that's one of those things where we're, but I feel like, I guess when we talk about leadership, it's one of those, it gives you that trait of discernment. We're seeing, knowing what's real and what's not real, or able to really see, okay, or just being able to ask questions. I think leaders ask a lot of questions. They don't just take what they see and go run with that. So if I see all these different catches, these different drills, maybe I reach out to the player that was doing it. Maybe I reach out to the coach, the trainer, the program, and get involved to kind of see if what I'm seeing on social media will get me those same results. Or when you get out there, is it what it was on social media? Like, I'm seeing all this hype. Wow, of course, you add all the spice with it from the highlight video. But when you get out there, it's either too hard of a work to get that highlight reel, which means that, I thought I was able to come out here and do something easy and get a nice highlight reel, but it's actually hard work and they're actually really working. Or, they're not even really doing nothing. I mean, that video is not even what's going on. You know what I'm saying? It's either it is or
and it's a gamble. it's definitely a gamble. Man, social media it can hurt you or it can help you.
For sure. And it's not all bad, social media, for sure. But I mean, I think, like I said, like we both agreed on with the youth, they're looking at it, and it's giving them the instant gratification of whatever it is they're looking at: money, fame, celebrity, like sports now, going to the draft, going to the league, NILs, college, like everything is just so like instantaneous, where they feel like it's just happening like that.
Everything has a money sign behind it now. Like kids are able to be monetized by however many followers they got, how much content they push out, whatever the case is. And, a lot of times athletes and parents both, they will go after what's dangled in front of them, because over here it might be too much structure.
For sure.
And sometimes I would say the person that is on you and grind every day, you'll always run to the person that you don't see their mistakes the most. You get what I'm saying?
I agree.
So whoever you don't get this, whoever's not yelling at you the most, whoever's not pushing you to be your better self, whoever's not staying on you about the things that are important, you're going to go over there before you stay over here, because you're not understanding that we're helping you grow. We're helping you grow. When it stops, we're still helping you grow. And it happens that way a lot.
You're right. That structure piece is important. I know when we were talking about, like different deals, like money is backed by that, but they're also going to, the money from NIL deals or anything is going to back somebody who they see some longevity and influence in. In order to have longevity and influence, you have to have people around you, mentors, and just people in general, like that are going to lead you in the right direction and guide you. You also have to have leadership skills within you to continue to want to build and become what they put the money behind, because they may see the potential and you may not be there yet. So you have to continue to grow into that person. So if you're not used to that growth, that hard work, that grind, that process, the money's going to come and it's going to go right back out. They give you $100,000 and they take that same $100K back, and if you're not producing. So I mean, regardless of what happens so quick, you still have to put in that work behind it. But even so, more of what you were talking about, like, not seeing mistakes, that's something that's coming real and real to me every day. You know what I'm saying? Especially when you get into the parenting, right? So you learn a lot by making mistakes and failing. So the interesting thing for me that has been the most impactful was buying my daughter a bike, Christmas, and her learning how to ride a bike from then until now. This is so December 2024 all the way till now, where it was about like May 2025. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, just the process of that 6 months of learning, like the first, I can't do it. I don't want to do it. I was just not pedaling, wasn't going, it wasn't staying up. It was just to then getting it. Now I got a little push. I can go, but it's only for like 2 seconds. To now I can go for like 30 seconds. And now I know how to ride, but I don't know how to stop. Like, oh boy. So now we got to ride and stop. And then, just the whole process now is just smooth. You know what I'm saying? But that process, if she gave up, or if I let her give up, the bike will be useless right now.
Sure.
But that's life in general. You know what I'm saying? In order to become that highlight reel, how many passes did you drop? How many passes did somebody throw to you? How many times did you run? If you're the quarterback, how many did you throw and miss? You know what I'm saying? Do you understand that angle? How many times you have to see somebody run a slant route? I don't know nothing about football, but I've seen that before. Like, how many times you had to see somebody run a slant route in order to get that connect consistently? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to miss way more passes than you connect with to know how to handle that at any moment in the game. You know what I'm saying? And that's that process of riding a bike, messing up, getting it back. What am I not doing? What am I missing? What can I do better? How can I get that right there? Like, I saw my player had to reach too far, so maybe I'm off a little bit. I'm shooting my free throw and keep hitting the back of the rim, so something needs to be adjusted. I mean, how many free throws I need to shoot before I make it? And it's consistent. You know what I'm saying? It's just that process that a lot of players are missing, and it's just seeing that little device that's just right here and we're seeing everything without a process. Even the what is that you can record in what's that mode, what is it, I forgot. If you record something, like if you try to build something and you record it in that mode, I can't even think of what it is. I'm getting a blank. If you want to record, like if I'm trying to build a bed, like take this new bed out the box and build it, and you can put it in I'm gonna have to look at my phone, man, because it's gonna drive me crazy. What is it called? When you record in not slow mo, man, I don't know, time lapse.
Oh, yeah,
when you record in the time lapse mode, it records that whole process, but it speeds it up still, so it's still not even showing you how long. Like they put
how long it really took everything.
It could have been a 3-hour process, but the time lapse on social media is 2 minutes. So, but that's wild, man. So high school football player, team captain your senior year, and from there, college.
Yeah. So I went to Ferrum College in Ferrum, Virginia, right outside of Rocky Mount, Virginia, where I did play for a year. Okay. And then, reality kind of set in at that point. Division III ball don't get no scholarships. Okay. There's absolutely no scholarships. But the funny thing is, I just finished up year 11 of coaching.
Oh, wow.
So
is that coaching while you were in college?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So Elliot Davis, who was my trainer at the time, he was the middle school head coach when I graduated. Okay. And so that summer, I would work out with him in the morning, and then I would go with him to Bonner for middle school football practice. Nice. And so what turned into just a couple bag drills with the big fellas turned into me being the offensive line, defensive line coach for middle school.
Wow. That's not where you stopped, though.
No, absolutely not. And so I did volunteer for 5. I did volunteer for 5 years. So what ended up happening was, at the time, middle school was not necessarily considered like junior Piedmont, but they were playing the middle school teams of the Piedmont district. So, Philadelphia Collinsville is the one for Bassett. Laurel Park is for Magna Vista. Martinsville Middle is for Martinsville, of course. Okay. So all of those schools that were around us, for real, they was 35, 40 minutes from Ferrum. Yeah. So what I'm going to do on a Wednesday, and I'm not playing football, I'm going to coach middle school football and come back to college. Okay. And so that was really what I did. All the way up to the day before graduation, I got the best call of my life. Coach Anderson, Nick called me. I was going to graduation practice. Nick called me and was like, "Hey, how would you feel about being our middle school head coach?" I was like, "Bet." And so that year was guys like Kimori Dixon, Eli Bridges, Bobby Dixon, Avante Fitzgerald, Javion Inge. They were all 7th graders at the time. Kimori and Eli and them, they were 8th graders, but I had already had them coming in because I was Coach Graves' assistant coach. So when Elliot got moved up to varsity, Chesley Graves, we call him Chestnut, he ended up being the middle school head coach then. Oh, wow. And so and that's my guy. That's my guy for sure. And so we, having them kids that we had already had the year before, and those guys were I guess they were the Morris era for middle school.
Okay.
So we get in there first year as the head coach, we go win a championship in a mud bowl.
Okay.
And this is stuff that these kids still talk about to this day, and they graduated.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
So then these guys that are seniors now, we got snubbed from having their 8th grade year because of COVID.
Okay.
So
COVID came.
the class 2025, they share a very special place in my heart because we was going to get that. We was repeating for sure. We had a lot of guys coming back, man.
Oh yeah.
Some of those guys were guys that you heard this year.
Yeah.
That were really good for us. So
Okay. Yeah, I've definitely been on the lookout, and listening and seeing, the talent that's still coming out of of the George Washington High School, and it's been amazing. It's been amazing. But you said something powerful that went back to what we were speaking on previously about the process. Right, you said that so humbly, but I heard you very clear. You slid right through that, like I was just, you know, saying regular. Like when you authentic and you true to this thing, that's how it is. Like when you really love what you do. So I heard that you love what you do because you were volunteering coaching for 5 years. That's a long time to volunteer coach, which means to those who don't understand, you don't get paid. So you're out here giving back to the youth and doing what you love to do without any paycheck. You know what I'm saying? That speaks volume in itself. However, you said that 5 years while in college, going to the games, and all that led up to a head coaching job for the same position that you were doing voluntarily. Mm-hmm. Wow. I didn't know that. I knew you were coaching, but I didn't know that's what the process looked like. But that goes to show exactly what we said is a fact. I saw social media. Yeah. You're coaching football. I knew you were in college. I just didn't put the correlation together of both college and, coaching. But at the same time, it's volunteer, it's no pay, and when you got the head job in the middle school, that was the first paying opportunity.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's phenomenal, man. Like, that is a great start to coaching. That is, again, that just shows, which I already knew it, but I see it. Like I said, your love for the game, your love for the kids in general, like how you want to get back and impact the youth. Like, it's
And I definitely want to be clear on something. It's never about me when it comes to that. I could still do what I'm doing now and not get paid anything.
For sure. I mean, most definitely. I mean, however, realistically, when you put your time in, you eventually will get rewarded.
For sure.
However that looks like. We grew up in church, so you'll get rewarded by doing the right things, and that reward went from volunteer to pay.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? However, I feel like that time you put in went to show. I mean, if anybody doesn't know that, they would need to hear or just keep replaying this episode and go to whatever part of it is where he said 5 years coaching before I was awarded the head coach job. But paid or not paid, that could have still came with a head coaching job with no pay still. Mm-hmm. You still would have taken it. However, it just goes to show you that process. I mean, to be a head coach in general, you have to put in work. You have to show leadership skills. You have to show something for somebody to want to hire you as a head coach for a program, especially a feeder program. So if I heard you correctly, the head football coach for the varsity program called you to be the head coach for the middle school program, mm-hmm. which he knows directly feeds into his program. Mm-hmm. So that means that foundation is there where he would need and trust you to build them up to be where they need to be by the time they get to him.
Yeah. And those
that speaks volume.
Those guys that were successful for me, they came in advanced for him, mm-hmm. Because like Eli and Kimori, they went to JV after our season was over because at the time JV would still have like 3-4 games after us, mm-hmm. and like my boys went up there and they played.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah,
they went and they played, mm-hmm. so it wasn't like they were going up there to be practice dummies. Like they went up there and played.
So, as a coach, you said it's important to know what?
It's important to know the kids that you're coaching and where they come from. And when I say it was where they come from, not only their living situations, but as far as their knowledge of the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And so, I knew most of my kids at that time, they were the last bunch that really, really played opposition league football. Okay. So I knew most of them came from, under center. Because nobody's really snapping shotgun at the time. Mm-hmm. So, we learned the pro eye the right way. And I ran a few plays out of there. Yeah. And then I, introduced them into what is called the spread offense. Okay. Spread offense is what we've ran at GW for the last 10 years. Well, 12 if you want to count Teague. The first time I encountered spread football was the Teague era. Mm-hmm. But on that level of putting up a lot of points at the time, it came from Nick. Well, Coach Anderson, for those that don't know who that is. Oh, yeah. Just teaching my boys at the time how to run the spread offense. In the formations that he had, some of the same play calls. Yeah. So when they got up there to him, it was like, oh, okay, well, he know where this at, da-da-da. So it's had some success off of that as well. So, we're very proud of that.
I mean, as a coach, I feel like that's important. And, as a program, you want that kind of fluid transition where you're not having to reteach so much. You know what I'm saying? At the varsity level, like, you have maybe you might have 4, which are the minimal amount of players you have. But for the most, you have 1 to 2 years to get them ready for that next level, which whatever that looks like for them. So it's easier if you don't have to reteach. I'm not even gonna say easier. It just makes the levels make sense when you're not reteaching things that should be learned at certain ages. Again, as kids, you learn certain things at certain ages because when you get to an adult age, these are things you should already know because the decisions you have to make in that point of your life, you should already have learned things prior to that, those skills and things that you need. So it's the same concept with football or any sport. So if I'm a high school varsity coach, what they should be learning in middle school and at JV should not be what I'm not reinforced, but it's not what I'm teaching from scratch at varsity. Sure. And that was, again, great leadership on Anderson's part where he was able to put somebody in position in both JV and varsity, middle school and JV to build that out and keep that, that fluid structure going where it's like, okay, boom, we go from here. And once you max out middle school, you're at JV. Once you max out at JV, or if you go from 8th grade straight to varsity, you already know. Now it's skill. Now you make JV or varsity based on skill. Yep. If I say, what did you say, 32 slip, whatever, if I call a play and freshman coming in, you can go ahead and boom, boom, boom and run through the playbook, then that's varsity material because now I don't have to sit here and, the plays, you can react, you can read, you can, go out there and go. And for sure. I think the important trait that you mentioned as well was knowing your players. Knowing your players outside of the sport is very, 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 very important. However, the art of coaching is knowing what your players can and can't do. So if I know that this, 6'3", 300-pound player cannot run that play, like a straight play, a wide receiver position, why am I going to keep him there? And every time he's late on the, he's late, not getting open or not catching, why would I keep him there? Knowing your players and what they're able to do, not do, and learn. Not saying that 6'4" or 6'3" player, 300 pounds can't, but if we speak in varsity, if you haven't been doing it, you're not going to do it. So just knowing your personnel, that's really important, man. Really important.
In today's era of kids, well, I would never say today's era, a coach that loves you beyond your jersey number.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
That makes the difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Now, for me, I come from 2 young people falling in love and having me, and 2 grandparents that they were done raising kids. You know what I mean? But the process of getting to college, knowing what college looked like, the last person my grandparents had put through college was my Uncle Reggie. Okay. That was 16 years. After, that's a while by the time it was my time to go. So it looked different. Football recruiting looked different. So a lot of what I didn't have or what I was not knowledgeable of, I had to learn that so I could be in some of those places for some of my kids.
Yeah, most definitely. That goes to show, again, the authenticity in you as a coach, you as a person, and for your program, which we haven't got to yet. We're going to get to the Bulldogs. We talked about the Danville Bulldogs, but that goes to show that the power behind it is more than just, hey, come wear this jersey, come wear my brand, come play for me, let's play football, let's get out here in the grass, and let's run some play. Like, it's more than that.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely more than that.
Beyond the jersey is hey, did you eat today? Did you sleep? Everything okay? How's the fam doing? How are you doing? Like, okay, well, this is what we need to be doing because, you know what I'm saying, let's work on some things. You know, this is what I need you to start doing. When you leave practice, I need you to do X, Y, and Z to make sure by tomorrow, you know what I'm saying, because at the same time, you still have to play for me. So I still need you to be ready to get on this field, this court, whatever we're doing. But I need you as a person to be ready, and I feel like as a coach, that's the most important part, and that's being authentic. You know, not just hey, okay, number 12, AJ. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, I need you to go. All right, I'll see y'all tomorrow. And honestly and transparently, I mean, that's what this is all about. What do you call it? What you do when you watch a film, whatever. I always evaluate myself at the end of the season, at the end of the games. You know, month by month, I'm always looking to see how I can improve. What am I missing? And I feel like the last 2 years as a head coach for varsity has really been a challenge for me because it's a different level and it's different. You know, middle school, I'm able to connect with the kids a little bit more because I feel like me naturally working and just being around that age group of kids is just like you know what I'm saying, it's home for me because I'm always having kids with me no matter where you are. You know what I'm saying? There's always some kids with me. So I feel like that age group is like that comfort zone. So now I'm at that different age group. You know what I'm saying? High school kids. I'm about to be an adult. I'm about to go to college. I'm about to be on my own. I know what I want. I know what I don't want. I know I know what you're going to do. It's a lot of personality development at the middle school, but at the high school it's developed. It's developed and it's speaking back. Yes. And think, like you said, but at the same time, as a leader, as a coach who looks at that player more than the jersey number, like I know what you're going to need to adjust, work on, and build upon and grow towards when you start wearing this jersey. Yeah. Like when that ball stops bouncing, whether it's 12th grade year, in the 12th grade year or beyond, what kind of person are you going to be? And if you came from anywhere around me, that needs to be somebody. You know what I'm saying? Whether and that's not somebody like, oh, hey, making all this money, you know. And you need to be somebody. Like you need to be a stand-up person if you've been around me as a coach. So the challenging part for me was that connection piece, like because I didn't want to get too close because trauma. It's a trauma response for me. Just speaking transparently from me growing up of that separation. Like if they quit or they don't want to play anymore, or once they do leave, for me, and like you said, you weren't thinking about you. I wasn't thinking about me, but I was thinking about me, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Like I wanted them to be the best person they could be. However, I wasn't like it was. If we look at the closest of me and my players, it was always that missing piece. It was always that like that not. We didn't fully get here, like as a coach and player. I mean, you're not going to get there with every player, but the majority of the players, when you're the type of coaches that we are, you're going to get there. Like you're going to have that. For me, it just like it was always right here, meaning we weren't like all the way connected because I was keeping that wedge right there. I didn't want it to get too close. And like I said, as I keep evaluating myself, I'm like, that's that missing piece that would transform a lot. Like maybe a game, you know, maybe a season, maybe a championship, you know what I'm saying, if it comes down to winning. But also, once they're gone, those continuing relationships, it would continue even further, like consistently. You know what I'm saying? Like I like those type of things. So I see you do it a lot as well. And like I said, when you spoke on that, that's powerful and that's important as a coach. And for me to be able to speak on that, I mean, that's a leadership trait that I have. I mean, being a leader is everything. So being a leader is also being able to reflect and look and see how you can grow and how you can continue to get better and be better at what you're doing. And for me, it's that mesh, that relationship that needs to connect all the way through with, okay, on the court, in the gym, we are good for real. Outside of the gym, I mean, I'm checking, but it's not as much as I could be. I could be doing more. And I know I could be doing more. And I feel like I could be doing more, and I will. Like, I know I'm going to do more and finding out, you know what I'm saying, Rich, hey, what you normally do to, you know what I'm saying, outside of practices and stuff like that, how are you connecting with these players? Because it's a little different. Like, you've been here, you know, with a lot of these players for a long time. I'm just now coming back. So I'm not going to say it was easier, but, I mean, you've been around, like, just being in the city, seeing the growing up and the kids here and there. So you're able to connect on a different level than me, but it's still the same thing that needs to happen. So, like, what is it that you do besides being yourself?
I mean, I gotta be transparent. I think that sometimes coaches look at coaching as just what it is, coaching. Coaching is it's a ministry.
Yes.
If you want to be completely honest, and in doing ministry, you have to be able to serve and serve wholeheartedly. So for me, that's a great trait for me. I'm guessing from other people, but I'm learning. Well, I'm battling with that, with what comes with me serving wholeheartedly. Because sometimes the decisions that athletes and parents both can make, some of those decisions have bothered me.
Yes, for sure.
But now I have somebody that requires more. Like, I gotta stop being coach when I walk through the door at my house now. So like, whereas where it was just me and my wife at the time, coach could come through the door and I could kind of unravel to be with myself. I immediately have to leave coach in the car. Not even like at the door. I have to leave coach in the car because I love these kids.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, anybody that know me, like, when I say I love these kids, it's to the point where, not that I want a hand on what everybody's doing with kids, but I feel that it's necessary that they see me.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Only because I know my heart's desire, what I want for myself. So when kids in elementary school are saying, "Hey, you coach at GW, you don't want to be doing that yelling on the sideline," or they be like, "You coach with the Bulldogs, why you ain't got my age group?" Like, you know what I mean? Like, these are the, like, this is what I want. I really got into teaching because I wanted to be with them around the clock. Because I learned what my presence did in the school. And when I say in the school, now I'm coming straight off graduation. I'm working with my uncle. You get what I'm saying? Like, I'm doing mental health skill building. So, you know, I've done my due diligence with my clients. I got an hour to spare before it's time for practice. Cool. Let me pop in Westwood. Let me pop in Bonner. And let me walk through here. And what started happening was my boys were such an influence in their classrooms. When their peers saw them get quieter behaving at the front of the classroom, their peers started doing the same thing.
That's impact, for sure.
And so, you know, I was like, well, you know what? I can still do what I'm doing. I need to go get into school. Had no idea that I would love teaching.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Now, it's I love coaching because I know what was shown to me revolving me coaching. Right? And so teaching has become that other piece because there's a whole nother realm of kids that don't shoot a basketball. That don't throw a football. You know what I mean? So, like, and I got into Danville Public Schools at a very, very pivotal time. The 8th graders at that time when I started teaching, they are now 10th graders, so they're the Gear Up Virginia crew. So, like, we did the college visit. So, like, okay, cool. So when I had Avid at the time, there's a section in Avid where you're teaching next level thinking. So you came in and talked to the kids. So we talked about getting ready for high school. Then boom, we talked about college as well. And so with the Bulldogs, I'm able to tie what I'm teaching into football. So like me and my boys, we have financial literacy conversations as it relates to scholarships, grants, loans, and we really don't know where we're going to be at as it relates to finances and higher institutions. Then. And so my thing has always been for them is allow the sport or whatever to get you in there. Who you are as a person is going to keep you in there.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And I always tell them, I'm not gonna tell you something that I didn't live or that I didn't experience. Like I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not about to do that.
Oh yeah.
Like I went to play football for 3 months, 2 months, 3 months.
Oh wow. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But who I was as a person and the gifts that God gave me, of course, of like music, singing, things like that, that helped my financial aid package thousands of dollars more than playing football.
Man, it's bigger than basketball. It's bigger than football. It's bigger than the sport, man.
And so eventually, my boys, they will tell you. I tell them that all the time. Eventually, it's gonna stop.
Yes.
Regardless, like if you're fortunate enough to make millions, thousands of dollars, whatever, and you and your family are secure, after you're done playing, I'm proud of you. You are one out of a million.
Yeah.
But we can always be good citizens. We can always be good people. We can always go own a business. We can always be a part of things that are bigger than us.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
And the biggest thing I tell them all the time, you gotta know who you are now, because if you listen to people, you'll go crazy.
Yes.
You'll go crazy.
Yes.
You'll go crazy. I've been coaching for 11 years. You have no idea the countless conversations I've had to do. I ain't even gonna say defend myself, because at that point I stopped giving responses.
Yeah.
But when it comes to coaching, there's no money in that. It doesn't pay. I understand that.
For sure.
I understand that. But hell, if I die, what impact would I have?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Important.
Like,
important.
and some things are just bigger than yourself. And the thing is, I'm aware of responsibilities that I am obligated to.
Yes.
But I'm also obligated to do a job.
Yeah.
My favorite video of all time is Tommy Ford, that was Tommy on Martin.
Oh yeah.
There's a video, and he explains the difference between a job and occupation.
Okay.
The occupation, that's my title. My occupation is teacher.
Yeah.
But my job, I was called to serve. And so if me coaching football is me serving, that's my job. And sometimes I love my job more than I love my occupation. Yeah. But at some point, my job and my occupation intertwine with each other. So I'm literally, and my administrators can tell you, you'll never watch me walk into my school upset.
Oh yeah.
You will never see me leave my school upset. Coaching the basketball game, we done lost. Oh yeah, I'm upset, but like, all right, I'm good. I'm cool the next day.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Of course.
Cause the competitor in me is like, but like, Coach Morris about to come back into the school, and we're gonna be on 100. Like we gotta learn. We're gonna be lit all day.
Oh yeah. I like that. Occupation and job, teaching, and then coaching. It's called to serve. That's important to recognize what you would call to serve and do. Once you realize that, and your ministry and your gift, that's why you're able to walk the walk that you walk, and carry yourself the way you do, because it's so easy. I keep hearing this entrepreneurial stuff, like when you look at different posts and different people that are in that success, that are already in that level of success that people look at, and they keep saying, one, find your why, know your why, not find it, but know your why, and make sure it's strong enough. But what comes easy to you that doesn't come easy to everybody else? That's the number one question that they're asking now. Like it keeps coming up on my timeline. I maybe have said it, everything is here and everything. So it keeps coming up on my timeline, and I'm like, man. And it just hit me the other day. I mean, for me, it's not even gonna say talking. Talking is just saying stuff, but conversation. I don't care who you are, where you are. I know you, don't know you, whatever. Conversation for me is easy, and it's not. Oh man, what you eating tonight? When the last time you been out? What's the new shoes coming out, man? I can have those conversations because I know how to meet people where they are. That's easy. I also know how to have that conversation with that millionaire, with that entrepreneur that's aspiring,
sure.
with that student, with that parent, with that wherever you are. We can have this conversation. It can go 5 minutes, it can go 50 minutes, it can go 2 hours, because I'm able to hold a conversation that's impactful, asking the right questions, helping, listening, whatever it is. Whether I said a lot, now I've been really paying attention. I haven't been saying a lot. I've asked 1 or 2 questions and just general conversations, and they're just like going in. And I'm like, man, what I'm saying? They must have needed that, and they, whatever it was. So I'm like, I'm able to really walk in that now. Like, and I love it. I love it.
Because, I mean, sometimes people need just for you to ask them a question. Yeah. And then it just
go all out. You're like, man. And I'm just like, yep. And so, what I'm saying? What did you learn from that? What did you gain from that? If it's something not good, or what are you going to do? Like, what decision are you going to make? Like, how are you going to, like, what's your goal? Like, sometimes when they're talking, like you say, you ask that one question, they said so much, but I'm like, for me to understand how to respond to you, what is your goal? Like, what's your purpose? What are you trying to gain overall? Like, I'm always thinking about the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is it? And just kind of help them that way. So, I mean, it's, relaunch of my podcast, man, has been the best thing ever for me, because I'm like so comfortable, so excited. I'm ready, and it's just it's a different this go around. Like,
just go full. I say go full speed. Like, if this is what you're doing, like, go full speed. And I believe that, and I ain't trying to sound like too spiritual, but like that's just like where I come from.
Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? What I've noticed, or what I've had to learn, is when you serve with no intentions. You know what I mean? When you, as a coach, I'm always intending to win.
Yes.
Right. But like just last night, I had one of my players have me on their list of teachers as an inspiring educator for graduate distinction.
That's what I'm talking
now,
about right now.
Like, you know what I mean? And this kid has been with me since 6th grade.
Okay.
He's graduating this year.
Okay.
Right. And, he was like one of I had a group called the Babies. Right. And they were like my little guys, like really, really small. Would get in, get a couple yards for me, whatever, basketball. I throw him in the game, and I say, AJ, pull it from the red line. And he shoot it, and he'll point at his veins. So every time I see him, I'll be like, what's in them veins? He be like, ice. And this is a kid that remembers this, and now he's graduating. And, me and his parents, I love my parents. Yeah. I love my parents. I tell people all the time, if you have a coach that is only talking to your kid and not having conversation with you, get away from them.
Yeah, speak to me. I'm listening to you. Like I said, I'm hearing you.
Get away from
I'm hearing you. Speak to me.
Because what happens is those conversations at home seep into that kid. And so if coach and parent does not have a good relationship, if coach and parent doesn't have a good relationship, neither will athlete and coach.
What does that look like? Coach and parent relationship. Like, what does that look like to get that? Like, that's important. Like you said, when I said speak to me, I meant that. Like, okay, because I'm like, I know I talk to parents, but I don't know if it's an intentional conversation. Not that I'm not.
I'm an action person. Okay. I show up.
Okay.
I show up outside of the sport I'm coaching.
Nice. Okay.
And I was lucky. Like, coming up till I was like 11 years old, my coach was my dad. Okay. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, he my coach in the other room for real. So it's like, but I watched honestly some of the best. If I'm looking at a coach, some of my best coaching periods. I love my Uncle Reggie.
Most def.
That is, if I had a hero, a superhero, that's Superman for me.
You beat me to the punch. We're gonna come back.
Like that's Superman for me. My papa is like he in a category of his own, because there wouldn't be my dad and Reggie without him, and then there's no him without my great grandfather. So when we're talking about serving, I've watched serving from generations down. But like one of my biggest key moments of watching a coach, my Uncle Reggie used to be like a basketball coach or whatever at Gibson.
Okay.
Now, like this is small little Reg white tribute. I'm with him everywhere. Like they think I'm his son for real.
I remember that. Okay.
I watched how not only did he allow the boys to hoop, man, he mentored these kids. Yes. I'm talking like we went to homes. Like I watched him clothe players, feed them, help parents. Like I watched that as a shorty. So we talking about 7, 8 years old. Here I am, 28. I still remember that 21 years later. Like I watched that. I watched my dad, take people home, feed them on the way, whatever. Mm-hmm. I watched like the OGs run up. Doc, what's up, Doc? Man, let me tell you about your papa. We coached me, like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And then like my grandpa, like, I can mention my grandpa now. You know what I'm saying? And it's like people still know who he is.
You already know.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's not just him being a pastor. Like my grandpa, he went to meetings. He showed up at the schools. Mm-hmm. He sick and shut in. So like, and this is like I didn't go to daycare. I was with him, so I'm going to see the sick and shut in. And I'm in the office. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like when it comes to I don't know what doing too much is as it relates to serving.
Okay.
If there's a task, if there's a need, you do it.
That's most definitely.
And I'm the type where like I ask, is it okay to do this? Mm-hmm. But then when it's like, Coach Mose, you always ripping and running, you ain't got no help. If you not asking me, what can I do to help? If you waiting on me to ask you, I'll never ask. Because I'm never like that.
Yep.
And so when it comes to serving parents and kids, just show up, have the conversations, act like I have kids that I knew was not going to play football. Mm-hmm. I mean, like in school, I knew I had kids that were not going to college.
Yeah. But
like every year, I've had 3 different graduation announcements come to my house.
Yeah, that's powerful right there.
You know what I mean? Like graduation cookout invites.
That's the capstone of coaching. When you see the graduate, the first one, if they go to college, this will be another one. Yeah. Wow,
it's crazy. Like then you start getting kids that start going to your college.
Mm-hmm. Make you proud.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, and just stuff like that. And like, luckily, thank God for fam going D2. I can really be like, yeah, we can give a little scholarship money now.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So, it comes full circle. But I love my parents, and when I say I love my parents, it's because we had to grow together.
Okay.
Like I went into being a head coach really, really young. Mm-hmm. So I'm not gonna say that I've always said things the right way. I'm not gonna say that I've always done things the right way. But I appreciate the parents for allowing me to grow while helping mold their kids. Yes. And like, I've had, I try not to, I don't have any favorites, mm-hmm. right? I don't have any favorites, but I always talk about the kid that comes from the home where dad was always active. Yes. That dad that allows you to be a part of the village mm-hmm. of his son and doesn't get jealous when his son talks about you. Mm-hmm. That's big for me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? That's big for me.
You touched on a really, really good point when you spoke about Uncle Reggie. You spoke about Uncle Jerome. Just mentioning those impactful people to you. Being mentors to you help build a foundation, clearly paid it forward as well. Like what they were able to do for you, you're doing for others and continuing that. Now you're speaking on it. So now vocally it's that message, hey, look, give back, mentor, you know what I'm saying? Just go out there, be your authentic self. And, you know what I'm saying? It's more to coaching than coaching. Like you have to be connected and build those relationships, parents, players, all the way around. Like everybody has to be, on one accord for success to happen, whatever that next level looks like. So back, let's go back. Let's go. Give me your mentors again. Like those, and who are those impactful people that kind of help you become the person that you are today, and why? Like, why were they?
So my Mount Rushmore by far are Morris men. By far.
Generational leadership.
My great grandfather, my papa, Reggie, and my dad. Now none of them are in their orders or whatever. Except my great grandpa. He gonna be number one all the time, every time. He in the category of himself. Then the rest of them, they can it is what it is. But yeah, and then like when you get boom, I'll tie it into how I call. I just did a thing about support networks with my kids, and there's 3 tiers to that. It's personal, which is your family. It's social, which are your friends, and then it's professional, which is like your job, or your team, or your So my family. My Mount Rushmore for family is definitely my dad and my papa, my uncle and my grandpa. Personally, if I talk about those that have helped me grow, that are not my coaches, Jay Purdue has been good to me. He's our defensive coordinator. He's been pretty good to me. LJ Flintall, who is the head guy of the Burlington Bulls. He's been really good to me. Is as far as mentoring me as far as like how the process of making division bigger. Maurice Farrell. He's the pastor of Van Street. He's been really big to me and for me. And my Mount Rushmore would have to be, I guess, 5 people, because it would be my pastor, Pastor Fuller, and then it would have to be this guy named, we call him Magic, this guy named Charles Brandon. And he's really the one that kind of pushed me out there. Of course, I do like soul R&B music with a band. He's the head of that band. But he's helped me grow musically, and just intertwining real life stuff into music as well. So those 5 for personal, for professional. Professional, if I can be completely honest, I would say Tyrell Payne. Coach Smith, because that's that Coach Smith. Bobby Martin. Bobby Martin's been good to me. Nick has been good to me as well. And I say, man, Tyrone Graham. And I say Tyrone Graham because this man's old enough to be my grandfather, right? But he insisted that I lead him when it came to coaching.
Okay. Coach Graham. You talking about
Coach Graham? Big time Graham.
Whole time you saying Tyrone, I'm thinking
Big Ty Graham, Coach Graham.
Okay. Real good dude.
Yeah,
real good dude.
And has never changed. And I watched how he adjusted to change so gracefully.
Adaptability is a skill.
I'm talking like where I know I would have been like, nah. Like where I know I would have gave up a fight for real. No.
That's dope.
And he's so big. He's so big to me because I never forget it. I've as long as I've been coaching, I've been passed up on a lot. And he's watched it all.
Okay.
And I was like, I coached basketball because I knew basketball. Football is what it is.
Oh yeah.
You can always take basketball I'm okay with that. I want that to be very, very clear. I've said that on numerous occasions. Football, I'm fighting.
Oh yeah.
Like that's just football. I'm fighting.
Yeah.
That's just what it is.
Oh yeah.
But Graham, man, they made him the head coach for the boys. But the plan before was another way, right? Okay. He called me and he said, "Coach, I know you're gonna coach with me this year." All right, yeah, cool. What you need from me? I need you to drive the ship.
Hey.
Say less. Let's go. We in the gym on Monday.
Let's go.
Like, but he didn't have to do that.
No.
He didn't have to do that.
That speaks to, again, your impact, what you do, your leadership skills for somebody to want you to lead and, you know what I'm saying, just take over. That's wild. That's powerful.
Like he's been consistent the whole time. I'm talking like man, I'll never not whatever he need me to do, I'm going every time.
Oh, that's dope.
Every time. Because you gotta do that.
That's dope. Yeah, you're right. You said the social network when you were talking about your mentors just now. You said the social network, right? And how to build it. So, what's the correlation in the Mount Rushmore? Because I think you said Mount Rushmore, and then you named 5 people for each of those different.
So when you do your support network. When I'm teaching support networks, I help students identify allies or resources that they know that they can utilize, but they can utilize it to grow from.
Nice. Okay.
So in school, it could be a teacher, it could be a guidance counselor, your principal, somebody you know that you can go grow from.
Yes.
Your social, your personal is your family. Like, because everybody that's blood or share the same don't always mean that they love you.
For sure.
You know. And then your personal is where I make them identify who their friends are.
Okay.
And I make them identify with influences. And the good thing is sometimes you can find a person that is in all 3.
Okay. Interesting.
So if you have somebody that is in all 3, you've now found your constant. And you can decipher the conversations of where to grow from.
Oh yeah. That's a good good standard to have around when it's coming down to that, because that is really important. Those 3 different levels, it helps them, differentiate the type of people that you need to have around, like that circle that you need to build in general. So if you can look at that, you really don't have anything. Because I've been in the classroom as well. I'm looking at if you don't have anything, they let you know where you need to start from, where you need to build, and what you need to be working towards, because that's something that you need to have. That's a necessity. But if you have some, then okay, let's look at it. Let's make sure, it's going to show what that looks like, 5, 10 years from now, 15, 20 years from now, because that is going to be your, foundation of people that you depend on, that you call on, that you are able to always have. And, because you talked about yours, that strong was your family. And then, from there, it didn't go out too far. Like, it didn't go out to a lot of, you have that professional network, but at the same time, some of that professional network have been people that you've been around for quite some time, and if you look back, I know, of course, a little bit more different than, everybody else that don't know you, but looking at the beginning of your Mount Rushmore, when you talk about the Morris men, that makes sense. That foundation helped, then looking at the next level. And the next level is like, okay, so you've always had that constant foundation of strong mentorship around you to mold you into that strong mentor that you are for other people, which, like I said, it speaks volume and is impactful, man, because the youth that you impact, like you said, when you get graduation letters and calls and, parents want, hey, come talk to my son, what's going on at school, and my daughter got in trouble. You're in the classroom, so now it's not just the males that you're impacting, it's also females, that it's important. They need to see that, and that's crazy. The mentorship, the leadership, the coaching. What are your coaching principles that you use? Because like I said, when it comes to you coaching, you're respected. The players look up to you. The parents, they let you do your job. Your peers, same concept. They know your strengths. They know what you're able to do. They know your impact. So, what are those principles that you've been able to use that kind of helped you get to where you are right now?
Uh, the 4 years that I was in high school, I mean, I had 3 different head coaches. That's a lot to change from.
That's a lot of change.
That's a lot. That's a lot of change. Yeah,
Man, that's a lot of change.
that's a lot of change. And so the biggest thing is, what is the biggest part for me is I come from where they at.
Okay.
If you know, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah.
I'm Danville, born and raised.
Yeah.
I'm Danville Public Schools,
Yes.
born and raised. You know what I'm saying? So like, this is home for me.
Yes.
And like, just cause I'm at home, don't mean I'm hurting.
Oh yeah.
Just cause I'm at home, don't mean I'm bored and I'm depressed.
Exactly.
I came home and I gave back and I did things, and I'm doing things that I enjoy doing. And you know, like, I've started my family here.
Yes, you have. Nice.
I've started my family here.
Yes.
And you know, Danville is what we as those that live here make it.
Most definitely.
Most definitely. And you have to be willing to do things that you don't always have to look for something back.
Yes.
And I think really coaching has just, I guess, shifted my mindset as far as like what to do. Now that doesn't mean that, you know, I'm not the young Coach Morris now where I can just roll and go. Like, you know, I'm a family man. That's I have people to consider.
Yes.
So if the situation makes sense for them, they ultimately will always come first.
Okay.
But I also have players that understand that.
Yeah. Okay.
You know what I mean?
That relationship is there.
Yeah, for sure. For sure.
The messaging.
Like, you know, so the Bulldogs are we're in year 4.
Okay.
My son is 2. My boys remember when I said, all right, cool. Don't be thinking I'm laughing when a little boy running around on the field. My son runs around on the field at practice.
Okay.
So these boys that are senior for us now, they remember like, hey, Coach Morris wasn't playing. And then a step further than that, the guys that left last year, they remember, you know, my wife coming with me to the games as my girlfriend, like in school. So like I've let them into that part of my life. Like parents came to the weddings, like,
nice.
You know, and baby showers and you know, things like that. And it's just because what I have allowed. And the thing is, you know, and of course I've been told before, you know, like, don't get too close to the kids, like, if you're loving the kids from a genuine place,
yes,
you don't have to worry about that.
Yes.
Now, I'm not saying that someone won't be mischievous or whatever. However, I know my intentions when I am coaching and when I'm teaching these kids, and they can tell you, Coach Morris loved me, and it's not the fact of me just telling them I love them. I show up.
Most definitely.
My kids are 707. They leave with a hey man, love y'all boys, man. Family on 3. Like, they get that.
Yes.
And it's to the point now where when they leave in my presence, they telling me I love you first.
That's dope. That's powerful, man. That's the caps on the coaching right there. You want to feel and hear those things. Those are stories you see online. Like, you know, who just recently retired, Spurs coach, Popovich.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Players from beyond now, even players that didn't even play for him. Like, I mean, that just goes to show when you are walking in your purpose and doing what you love to do, and you're genuine, authentic, transparent, you know, it's tough moments, it's, you know, good moments, and you mean well, that you're going to get that kind of outcome when you're done, even while you're there. I mean, but like, especially when you're done, you're going to see that, and that's the vision that you have as a coach when you're out there. Like, I love coaching, you know what I'm saying? I love it. Then I got in the classroom, started teaching, And like you said, I wanted to be around them all day, every day, because I'm like seeing you after school, hearing all this stuff, and all that. I'm like, nah, let me get in here and see what's really going on from every perspective. Yeah, what you really got going on, and what's really, is it really what you making it to be, or do you really just need to, get some better structure and, get it together, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, okay, now I've been in the classroom 10 years, I'm able to see it, and it was definitely like, I love it. I love it because I love to teach. Teaching, coaching, go, like you said, they intertwine. You're teaching life lessons when you're on the court, on the field, that are going to go beyond the classroom, the court, or the field that they need. And it just goes hand in hand. And if it just so happens that you're coaching a sport that you love, it's that much greater for them, because you're giving it your all. Like, football to you is what basketball is to me. Like, you can take softball away from me from coaching, I'm cool. But basketball, I'm gonna give it, like, we're gonna have we're gonna listen. I'm doing any and everything I need, like, cause I mean, like, what's going on? Like, I know basketball.
Like, that's where I'm at with it. Like what I got to do, and the biggest thing is kids need structure and routine, and not so much of you. You wouldn't know half of the things we talked about if I didn't tell it.
Wow. You talking about as far as the parents?
Yeah, like just in general. Like even when I'm training, like I have kids that are not at GW that are in college now that I was training. Like. But you'll never know that if I don't say that. And so, kids need structure, they need routine, and they need genuineness. Yes. The same thing that I'm trying to get likes and followers on, I'm gonna do it regardless. So.
Yeah. So you were talking about the Danville Bulldogs, which is your organization that you founded and gotten started, man. So, what is it? Like, what is it? Matter of fact, I like to know how you even came about with Danville, but like, what even made you get started with it?
Funny. So in COVID, there was absolutely no football at the time, but there was 7-on-7 going on, just not in our area. But a lot of our boys went and played in other areas. And so me and a couple of other coaches were talking, and I was just like, man, bring something like this to the area. And they, they had mentioned it to me how they would help, kind of get me started. And they did. They stuck on their word on it. And then Coach J. Purdue, he connected me with LJ Flintoff. Okay. And he is a big guy in the North Carolina area. Okay. And so we got to talking and stuff, and he was just kind of showing me the format, like the printout, because I always wanted to do something in the summer. Like, at the time, I ain't had no kids. Yeah. None of that. I'm bored. In COVID, I'm bored. And so 2021, Denver Bulldogs was birthed out of the great city of Danville in January of 2021. Okay. Because we go from January to the end of May or June 1st, depending on where it lands. And so what ended up happening is, I didn't want what I was doing to just be for GW kids. Yeah. Okay. And I want to make sure that I make this very clear. We are entirely too small of an area to be separated. And that's with anything, basketball, football, baseball, whatever. We're entirely too small of an area to be separated. So I wanted to take it a step further and reach out to Pennsylvania County kids.
Yeah.
And I have been blessed enough to have major athletes from all county schools.
Nice.
From all county schools, I think except one.
Nice. Okay.
But I did have one of their kids the first 2 years. And it has allowed me to build relationships with those coaches out there as well, because what we provide the kids in the off season helps their program in season.
Oh yeah.
One of my biggest stories, because when you start something, you always want to know, like, am I doing it right? Who's talking, who, whatever. Defensive lineman, offensive lineman coaches, coaching routes and passes. Like, if you know the game, you know the game.
Yeah.
Like, sit me down, talk to me. I can talk that. I can coach that. And so, for a while, I was like, man, what we doing, is it really working? Mm-hmm. And then when those accolades come out,
oh yeah,
and I see that most of the kids in the county are Bulldogs, or I see most of the kids that's getting defensive back and getting receiver and punt returner and all, they're Bulldogs. And then I can even take a step further. E.J. Linder played for us his 8th grade year. He came out his 8th grade year, played for us, and he tore his ACL in the tournament.
Oh wow!
He didn't recover till second semester of his 9th grade year, so he missed his first year playing high school ball. He got healthy enough to play 7-on-7 the next year.
Okay.
This past season, he's first team on both sides of the ball.
Ooh, both sides, offense and defense.
Both sides of the ball.
Ooh. Okay. Off a torn ACL.
Off a torn ACL.
Ooh. Ooh.
Not to mention, he's a great student.
That's what I like to hear right there.
He's a great student. We got, shout out to my boy Sean Miller, who's the head coach at Gretna.
Okay.
I got his son.
Okay. That's dope.
You know what I mean?
That's dope.
I got his son.
That's dope.
Got his son. I got his starting quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, he brought me his guys.
That's speaking to,
and this is after a year maybe 2 of having his son first.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
Wow, that speaks volume. That means it's going to continue to keep building.
Dan River is family. Mm-hmm. Dan River's family. Micah Knight, that's my family. That's cuz.
Okay.
He send me his guys every year. Mm-hmm. Of course, we always reloaded at the G.
Oh yeah.
And these, luckily for me, these kids that are on the Bulldogs, I done had them since they 12.
Oh wow.
Like, these were my babies in middle school. So like,
yeah.
So it was easy. It was easy to get my kids from G. It was easy to do that. And then Chatham, I've had kids like Jaden Breelove, who's going to he's about to commit, sign his letter of intent this week. Like, I've gotten that text, Coach, I need you at Chatham.
Oh wow.
I'm ready to sign.
That's
you know what I'm saying? Just
yes.
Right now I got, Amari Word, who is an awesome 2-sport athlete out of Chatham. Tamani Turner, he's an athlete out there at Chatham as well. Just all of these kids, that don't see me during the season. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it goes even further, to some standouts that were at Dan River now that done graduated. I had a kid that went from Dan River to Halifax, and after that game, every Bulldog is in the middle of the field. We taking a picture.
Wow.
Now I have a Halifax kid, and then of course my kids from GW. Like, those are moments that we live for.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Those are moments that we live for. Mm-hmm. I've just been thankful for these kids being able to put us on the map. Now, the process. See, that's the thing nobody wants to talk about again. The process. Mm-hmm. We literally went winningless in year 1.
Okay. But you kept going and built, reevaluated.
You get what I'm saying?
Came back stronger.
Yeah, for sure. In year 2, we started seeing it. Last year we started seeing some glimpses.
Mm-hmm.
This year we rolling. You know what I mean? Like, but the kids are getting better for their school every year.
Yes.
So it's not like, oh, and they just going to tournaments, they ain't winning. Like, nah, like they're learning. Number one, they're learning. Some of these kids are seeing things they've never seen before.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like we're putting them in like roach motels. Like,
yeah,
these kids are going and landing in hotels and be able to do things they never done before.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And we still stress making sure your grades are right, making sure you're not doing anything crazy outside of school. Mm-hmm. I say that I have one of the best staffs ever. I'm really big on putting my boys on.
Yeah. Yeah.
But my boys within reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And I think our group of coaches, we have some genuine guys that don't want nothing from the kids.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, these kids are literally being coached by coaches, but they're being coached by their uncles.
Yeah.
Like dad figures, big brothers.
Yes.
And that makes the difference because none of my coaches are getting paid.
That's important.
When we go on tournaments, my coaches have to pay for their rooms.
It's about the grind.
You get what I'm saying? And they could easily went, man, I ain't doing that. What's the pay? Like, they don't complain ever. And when I say they don't complain ever, they don't complain ever.
That is amazing.
Mind you, I have asked guys that I know could help us go even further. But the intentions aren't right.
The intentions have to be right. Like you said, I mean, you already know.
There's absolutely nobody can ever say that we've been cliquish or have tried to keep kids from or keep guys from coaching our kids. I've literally asked guys. So, I mean, because I want it to be a Danville thing.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like, yes, we have kids from Dry Fork, Ringo, but like at the end of the day, nobody's going to college and saying,
I'm from Dry Fork.
I'm from Dry Fork. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, you always have to. I mean, the further out you go from Danville, you have to. Hey, you know where Richmond is? Well, I'm about 2.5 hours from there.
That's what I'm about to say. Like, somebody be like, yeah, I'm from Glen Allen. What's Glen Allen? Richmond.
Yes.
I'm from Sandston, Richmond.
Yes. Yes.
You know what I mean? So like, nobody's really, you know. So I want people to be like, all right, where you from? Danville. And it's to the point now where like when we go to tournaments, like, we making a little noise. It's because where we play at, there's only 2 teams in Southwest Virginia.
Okay.
It's the Danville Bulldogs and the 276 Elite.
Okay.
Which May 17th is a Southside Showdown in Axton, Virginia. Okay. 276 versus the Bulldogs, and all of our programs are gonna play from 10U up to 18U. That's gonna be dope. Start at 10 o'clock, done by 3:30.
That's dope. That's dope.
It's gonna be good.
Oh yeah. So you told me why you started Danville Bulldogs, but what is the Danville Bulldogs?
The Danville Bulldogs. So I want this to be clear. So when you hear Danville Bulldogs right now, everybody's seeing 7-on-7. They're seeing the football aspect. Danville Bulldogs, as an official nonprofit, is where we use athletic ability, athletic events to help mentor youth and young adults.
Okay.
And it ranges from ages. It's little from next, because next year we're doing a 9 and under team, so it'll go from ages 7 to 18. Okay. This year, I think my youngest baby just turned 11. Okay. So we're 10 to 18. So we're about 4th, 5th grade to 11 senior in high school. And so we utilize sports to help mentor. And the conversations are appropriate for the age. Okay. If that makes sense. before I had a son, right? My little shadow was always little Patrick, was Bubba, right? And so, when we first started the Bulldogs, I took Bubba to like 2 tournaments with me, and like he enjoyed himself, but it was also that part where like he saw kids his age get to that work. And so, all it took was, Noonie, why I don't have a team? Yeah. Say less. All right, let's go get that then. And so now what has happened for us is the 12U team, which is his team, those are the baby dogs. Okay. So you have your baby dogs. We call our 14s the middle child. Okay. And then we got our juniors and seniors. Yeah. So with the baby dogs, they've been together since they were 9. Okay. Because most of them are 11 and 12. So they did like a 7-on-7 league for 2 years. Okay. And now they're traveling. So they have a schedule like the big boys. So like we're in Concord this weekend. Okay. Then they go to nationals with the big boys and all that. So they get to see some of that. But that's probably one of our best groups. But their same core has been together for 2 years. Wow. And so when you do that, and then we're starting to have conversations with them like how middle school is transitioning to middle school, how some of them will be transitioning over to the high school soon. And then our high school kids, we are, basically, not only are we talking about the athletic aspect, but we're also talking about the academic aspect. I'm big on grades, and this was before I was a teacher, because it's not going to matter. Whatever the movies are showing you, whatever these skits are showing you, you still have to be able to get into the school. Yes. And so if you missing X, Y, Z days of school, or you fell in this class and that class, I have a problem with that. And just because it's not school related don't mean I won't handle it like it's school related. Most definitely. And so at some point there is some sort of accountability that you're going to have. And sometimes we do have the generation of kids where they have to see it to believe it. All right, cool. So let's check the GPA of what you need to get in this school. All right, cool. If they came and offered you right now, could you really sign on that paper? A lot of them are giving you this and giving you that because they've seen your measurement, they've seen your highlight tape. You still need that transcript to go through that door. And so I'm not popular with our high school kids. Like kids doing 7-on-7 with us, they love it and they like, how we do things and whatever, but like they will tell you, oh, I'm going to talk to you about school. I'm going to talk to you as to why you're not doing, X, Y, and Z when it comes to your academics. And that's the conversation that they don't want to hear, but they need to hear. So, a lot of times, people are seeing the pictures and the videos and, everybody see the fun and at this arcade and everybody jumping off the beds in the hotel room and acting a fool. There's always a time in the weekend where we have real life conversations. Oh, yeah. Because they have to take something from it. Most def. That's the power in coaching. That's the power in proximity. It's the power in what you're doing, authenticity, like what you're building, why you built it, using athletics to teach and mentor skills. And, to mentor the youth that's a powerful organization right there. You said something important also that, y'all weren't winning a lot in the beginning, and now you're starting to see the growth, which is more important than the wins. Like a lot of everything now is measured by wins and losses. Life is wins and losses as well, but it's a different type of win and loss. So, wins and losses are in sports are scores, which is neither here nor there. Okay, we lost this time, we can win again. If you lose in life, you may not be able to win again, depending on what kind of loss you took. So you have to learn these lessons and learn these skill sets and learn these different things. So, but you also mentioned growth. Like from year 1 to year 4, there has been a lot of growth. You also mentioned that they're learning more than just how to play the game. Like they're learning routes. They're seeing things they never have seen before. So when they go back to their schools, it's also helping the coach. Back to what we talked about earlier, when the coach puts you in place to get that foundation set. So again, as a head coach of a program, when they have all summer, it's not even all summer. They're going from January until right before season starts playing with you and your organization. So that's 7 months of
working on all those intangible skills as well as tangible skills that are going to help in the season. And you're seeing the wins. The wins are not what society wants to see. Like in the area, they're not seeing, oh, they won a championship. They came back with the chip. They went to the beach. They're not seeing that. But they're also not looking at the whole bigger picture and looking at it again like, okay, from January to July or May or July, they haven't had a lot of wins, but they didn't see at the end of football season, which is what's the end of football? Is that like right at December that all those kids that were in 707 from January to July are now on their high school teams, wherever that is, all over at ending their season with accolades. Like they're not seeing that. That right there is more of a win than it is to win a game or a championship over the weekend. Yes, it's important to win championships, but like certain championships mean something. You get what I'm saying? Like if I'm playing in the summer, like AAU, every time we go to a tournament or something, we're able to win a championship. That's just another opportunity to win a championship. So at some point, championships are just championships, another game, right? But to end my high school career or high school season with an award that everybody cannot get means more than a championship that we can keep on going and playing. We can go play in January. We can play another tournament in February for a championship. We can play another one. So we might lose in January. We can win in February. We lose in March. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the football season, when those awards come out, it's only a limited amount that are given out. Are you getting one or not? Did you do what you need to do for your whole team, the whole season, for your staff of coaches to say, hey, this player stood out? That win right there is bigger than a championship win.
For sure. And I think that a lot of times our area has gotten winning hungry.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
As we should.
Yes.
Because I feel that we are due for a big win in sports soon.
Oh, yeah.
But what our community has to understand that it takes all of us.
Say that one more time.
It takes all of us.
Yes.
And everybody cannot be the head man.
Yes.
Like it's okay to come under somebody, and I don't necessarily want to say come under, but it's okay to come work with somebody that already has
something established.
Yeah, something established. Because it even goes a little further. I took a step out with the organization this year, and I had an offer where to help me because I don't have the team that I used to have coming into year one and year two because, jobs and things have changed. So with us being a nonprofit organization, I am able to give real life community service hours to kids that offer their time to do something in the program. And so what I did this year, and some of GW's cheerleaders actually took full advantage of it.
Okay.
They took our sponsorship letters out before we got started.
Okay.
And took them to businesses.
Nice.
And they just had to give me some proof that they did it. And, signed off on it, wrote letters.
Nice.
The whole nine. Right now, currently, Brian Warren Jr., he has found his love for behind the camera. Now, he's one of my defensive linemen from JV this year. But he's also an amazing kid.
Yeah.
He's also an amazing scholar. We have officially launched a Bulldog Media team, and BJ is the camera guy. So BJ comes to practices and takes pictures, and he's really good about communicating with, hey, coach, I gotta go take pictures for
Yeah.
And I know it's a paid event, go get that. But I've also told him, and he knows this now, where you come to these 707 tournaments, you can leave out a weekend, not only with your community service hours, but bigger clientele, and you might leave with some money in your hand.
Yeah.
Because you can go out to a tournament and do a sale quick as like 4 pictures for $15.
Yeah.
And you have kids that are hungry for that.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah.
And he sees that now. So those are some things that we're offering to our kids in the community when we have fundraisers. We just did a fish fry a couple weeks ago. We had a young lady come through, which one of your basketball players. She helped behind with the team moms and helped serve and stuff. Just trying to just take it a step further with what we're doing, because not everybody is going to have that dream of playing ball. I don't want it to be it's just sports. It's just sports. Now on the 7-on-7 brim, when it gets to the older guys, like 18, 15 situation, it gets more of hand picking.
Yeah.
Just because of the caliber of talent that they have to play.
Yeah.
And I'm not for crushing your confidence. If I know that you're not there, I'm not gonna lie to you. But you can come and get the workout in so you can see what it do. And now once the results are in, like, we can do that. As far as my little kids, I try to give most of them an opportunity. That 12U team is just so special right now. Like, those are the ones that's like, because they've been together for so long. Like, their playmakers have been together for 2 years. So our middle school team is forever changing. Yeah, because middle school changes. But like the high school kids, they the same kids. Like my kids that are on the 18 under team, they were playing 15s at 12. Okay. They were playing 18s at 13, 14 years old, because that was the grind years. Oh yeah. And I wasn't up for expanding beyond what I could really control, for lack of a better word. But man, my staff is amazing. Like my staff, my brothers, the coaches, like, they are amazing. Like, I wouldn't be able to do what I do without them. And it's on something where they know the many hats that I wear outside of Bulldogs, but they understand that Bulldogs is the baby. Yeah. And so I can always shoot a text and be like, hey, I got so-and-so. I need y'all to, hey, we got you, bro. Don't worry. That's why we're here. Hey, man, who can take these kids this week? Yeah. I can't drive this weekend. Like, that's it. Like, I done had a long week. Like, and they get that. And like, my biggest problem has always been telling how I feel or how my body feel or where I'm at mentally. Because that's just something I ain't never seen. Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think that's a problem for all men, if not all black men, to be honest. So I'm learning. I was reading and I was looking at this podcast a couple weeks ago, and the guy was talking about being a comprehensive man. And so I'm trying to learn how to be a comprehensive man. I'm trying to learn how to listen to myself. Yes. And be completely honest and vulnerable. Like, I can't be, the cape got to come off today. Oh yeah. You know what I mean? My wife, she's helped with that tremendously, and that's still a work in progress as well, because I'm not big on, because I feel like it's complaining. I can see that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Especially when this is something that I asked for. Yeah. But man, my staff is amazing, and everybody got their own quality. I mean, like, those are my brothers. Those are my son. We'll call them uncle. Oh, like, coming up. One of them actually is my son's godfather. But I mean, everybody knows that, like, Q is my right hand man. Like, I go no place. Without Curtis Stevens. That's important. That's important to have. Right? I go no place. You gotta have it. Yeah, that is by far my brother. And I've always told him, even when we was kids, man. And it's so funny because all my peers be like, man, we always knew you was gonna be the coach. and that's funny to me, because I'm like, bro, like, but that tells you, like, I've always been that leader for my peers, man. But like, but back to Q, like, that's my dog. Like,
That's important to have that person too.
Yeah, like and it's a good thing and it's a bad thing because with me and Q, I'm gonna react however he react.
I mean, it's chemistry.
I ask 0 questions, and and he's like that about me. Al Brandon, I was against dad coaches for a while. I think my 3rd year, either my 2nd or 3rd year as the middle school head coach, his son just came up as a 7th grader, and he came to me real respectful, whatever. It was so good to the point where I didn't realize who his son was.
Okay.
Like, and he's been genuine since then. Now he's our high school and our middle school track coach too.
Okay. It's Coach Brandon.
Coach Brandon.
Okay.
And then Shamar Jackson, Coach Jack.
Oh yeah.
If you watched our sideline for basketball this year, who was it? Me, Q, and Coach Jack.
Yeah.
But that's Sandbox. Me, him, and Q been on the same football team since we were 6.
Wow. Man, chemistry, lifelong relationships.
Yeah, and the thing about all 3 of us, went to college, came back home.
Hey.
Trying to do something,
Got it. Yeah.
Trying to do something.
There's nothing wrong with it. Like I was okay. I can say I'm not from Danville, but Danville raised me, right? Danville raised me, and I've been here as long as I can remember. Like solid years. Finished elementary school here, middle school, high school. All that good stuff. I left on a mission. The mission and the goal was to come back and do something and bring something back. It just took me longer to do that. So I was gone after graduation, didn't come back until COVID, which was a long time. However, the whole time I'm out there, I'm like, I'm going to figure out a way to be able to create something, to build something, to learn something to bring back to Danville to improve. So the goal was always to leave and come back with something because I grew up here and I know the city can be great. There's great things that happened here along the way. It wasn't all bad, but it's like you said, it's what you make it.
We have such a diverse staff for Bulldogs where, Tone is like that life coach. Yeah. Because
I see that too,
he's had so much of life experiences to where what he implements or what he puts into our kids, he has the evidence to show. And so it's okay, you don't believe me, I can show you.
Yeah.
And I've always told him, I said, there's going to come a time where this organization is going to be big to where you won't have to go to clock in.
Oh, yeah.
Tone has so much to give.
I can see it.
He really does. Tone has so much to give to our city for real when it comes to the kids. And we just working.
Oh yeah,
we working. Our biggest thing is my favorite saying that we always say, it's chess. It's chess, not checkers.
So blessed. My uncle told me how to play it on COVID. I learned the importance of
gotta watch the board.
Yes,
you gotta watch the board, and you can't be impulsive.
But the main thing he told me was to always stay 3 steps ahead. Like,
3
moves ahead. It was 3 moves ahead, but I already translated it to life immediately, like staying 3 steps ahead.
You got to.
Like, because he beat me every single time. I was like, yo, you know what's so crazy? The first time I beat him, I ain't played him since. I beat him and left on the win. Like,
I caught him slipping.
I caught him slipping, beat him, done. Haven't played since.
And that's really how we got to do life. And that's the biggest thing. Like, and Tone is another one. I really learned this from Tone. I've never been big on posting what I do on social media. That's why I suck at posting like our pictures from the weekend or whatever. Like my kids get on me all, man, coach, why do they send you the pictures if you ain't gonna post them? Like, and then I'd be like, well, that's what JoJo for.
That
you get what I'm saying? Like,
that's JoJo, tighten up, JoJo.
That's what little JoJo for. But and he's JoJo another one. I could talk about JoJo all the time.
Bye. I love him.
Like,
I love him. Yeah.
JoJo's gonna be somebody.
Most definitely.
He's gonna be somebody.
Most definitely.
Like for sure.
Most
and like,
definitely.
And he's one of them. He come in and he do.
Yes.
He came in. He helped with the fish fry. Now is he so comical and like chatty?
Yeah.
Like
of course you gotta.
You gotta be like, hey JoJo, come on, bro. I need you to come help work. But like when he work, he get it done for real.
Yes.
But like guys like Tone, I learned from him not to be so like. You ain't got to show them that you're doing it. Like Tone trains. Like he's trained some of our biggest athletes in the city.
Wow.
Nobody will ever know it.
Wow.
And these are things that I've seen with my own eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Good kid, and he like another one. Like he coached Tone, but like now all the boys be like
Yeah.
Like he to everybody now.
Yeah.
And so like those are the type of guys that. God has like really blessed me to connect with on a personal level, and then being able to bring them into the realm of mentoring these kids. And the great thing about it is I never have to second guess what's being said.
Oh, that's amazing.
Never.
That's what you want.
Like ever.
That's what you want.
And sometimes there are things like where like I have to tell them like, bro, don't come ask me. Like you can answer that. Like. And that's how, but that's the type of family that we have. Like, it's a coaching staff technically, but like this is family. Like when a parent say, "Well, I ain't going this weekend," all right, all we need to know is he ours for the weekend?
Yeah,
because there's gonna be certain stuff he can't do. There's gonna be certain stuff he can't say.
Yeah,
are you okay with this? Because if all I'm doing is building an athlete and I'm not helping build a man, I'm trash.
Yo, you said
I'm
a word.
Trash.
You said a word, coach. You said a word.
And any coach that ever thinks it's not your responsibility to help build them, you don't need to be there.
You said a word. You said a word for sure. Like, that's what I said. When I got into coaching, it was for the whole bigger purpose of, you know what I'm saying? It was for a bigger purpose than just the sport, because I learned so much of life. I am where I am today because of what I learned through basketball. Like everything from rec league all the way up until now, the people, the players, the process, everything has taught me so much about life just by being in there. I mean, the main things everybody talks about is the structure, the scheduling, the teamwork, but it's so many other skills that you learn throughout that process of becoming a student, being an athlete from, any amount of time. Like if you more than a year, you need more than a year to determine whether you learn the skills or not.
For sure.
However, when you do that stint, and you survive, it teaches you life. I always hear, a good player, now coach up there in Richmond, trainer Luke Monjabber, he has basketball and life lessons, and it couldn't be more well said than that. Like with basketball, but it's sports and life lessons, so that could be football and life lessons, soccer and life, whatever it is you're learning through that. You know what I'm saying? Because in order to get those wins, the game wins that matter to keep you in that sport, those little things that you're learning are what you need, and those things go out in life, and you can build on that, man.
And you signing up to be a part of their village.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a lost art.
That's true.
I think that's a true lost art.
That's true.
In coaching today.
Yeah. It's about the check. It's about
it's about the check.
Conversation of, I helped them. I'm the reason why they where they are.
It's about
Yep.
And then, it's nothing. It's really nothing there to show for it. And I'm not big. When I say I'm not big on social media, if I'm on social media, I'm sharing something. I probably put up a post every once in a while. Some of my posts have been controversial. The last couple of times that I done posted, not on purpose, but just an observation.
Yeah, for sure.
Because I don't remember our area being as divided as it is. And
I, being not from born and bred in Danville, have seen it since I've been here. But
I probably didn't pay attention to it.
Probably,
though.
Coming from where you coming from, like
I'm just now an adult for real.
sure.
You know what I mean?
Not even that, but coming from like the type of environment you came from with the family, like you talked about your mom, coming from that, it's kind of hard to see a lot of negative when you're around a lot of positive.
Yeah.
You have a strong foundation.
For
it's
sure.
kind of hard to see that. Not saying I didn't
sure.
either. I didn't come from a strong foundation there, but just, again, I was almost like an outsider, not being from here. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of people that met me when I first got here know that I'm not from here, but I've always been here. You know what I'm saying? And I was always kind of going in and out, whatever, for the summers or whatever. But even, you know, without all that saying, I mean, I've always seen a division, which some division is good, but when it's for a greater cause, like helping the youth and getting there, and, you know what I'm saying, it just comes to a time where you got to put your ego to the side. You know what I'm saying? You got to really self-evaluate and see what your strengths and weaknesses are. Do a SWOT analysis on yourself. You know what I'm saying? And do a SWOT analysis on your business or whatever it is that you have, and see if it's really worth standing alone or not. And partnering, it doesn't have to look like you said, coming under or joining. Joining doesn't have to be, you know, I have my program, Virginia Legends, at one point in time. Being with you and the Danville Bulldogs and the Virginia Legends doesn't have to be, oh, now we merging and Virginia Legends doesn't exist. If I partner with you, Virginia Legends can still exist under that. It's just a matter of us being able to have that conversation, talk about it, and see what that looks like if it's not about branding. If it's about the bigger picture, I've had these conversations. I've been in these rooms. Like I said, I talk all the time. So I've asked, well, can I keep my same brand? Because when I was young, my brand was important to me. But in this next stage, in my 20s, branding and my name was everything. And if I couldn't have it, I was good. I ain't want to partner. I'm going to build my own. I know those type of people. But now in my 30s, I'm like, okay, it's bigger than the brand, the name, whatever. Maybe I don't know it all. Maybe it's not all about that. I could be missing a whole lot by trying to be about or being that person, or I started this. Take the I out of it. What's the bigger picture? It's the bigger picture about the kids, which it is. So, okay, now you have to look at a different route. It may not be your brain that gets those kids what they need. So sit down, have a conversation with these people. So those conversations meant, listen, what does it look like if the Virginia Legends come under your, like if we partner? But if you know what that means, I know what it means. But if who you're talking to doesn't know what that means, or they think you don't, that conversation can go bad. If we both know what we're talking about and we mean well, then partnering can go just how it needs to go.
It's crazy. It's crazy that you say that, or you talk about that, because when we first came out, right, when we first like launched the Bulldogs, like I think what I ended up doing was like putting the actual logo out one time, and I was like, launch coming soon. And so immediately when I launched it, I had all types of people wanting to partner.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm pretty sure to this day they probably like, he just want for himself. No.
Yeah.
Like, how do you have a vision for this before asking what it is?
Yeah, that's true. Because I think you only put the logo out. You're right. But I mean, maybe it's assumption. Maybe they thought it was gonna be a football brand, so they know you do football coaching.
You know, and essentially the only logo that's out is the football brand. Now you have the other sport, and that's been like flashed once or twice.
Yeah.
Right. But like the brand as a whole, it looks totally different.
Yeah.
And so, then now when we full circle and we're in year 4, and I'm asking about them partnerships again, you have no answers, because it didn't look like what you thought it was going to look like. But we've always been open to partnering. The only thing about travel ball, and you're trying to get kids opportunity, we have some inner city kids. Like when I say real inner city kids, we have some real inner city kids. So like when I'm taking 120 kids or 100 kids or so, right? When we're taking them out of town, those rooms cost.
Yeah.
Every parent don't go.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Every parent don't have money for them kids to eat 6 meals a day. Like, or 6 meals between the 2 days, whatever the case is. And so what I've learned is, I don't know where the bad experience came. We're asking like for donations, so I don't know where it came from or if it would even happen. But it's hard for me to be like, hey, can you give such and such.
Yeah.
But now where I absolutely see the need for these kids,
Most def.
man, we banging on doors.
Yep.
Like, so we're open to all types of partnerships. My boys have no problem with working. I mean,
oh yeah,
we give the tax exempt receipt, whatever. Like, we got it all.
Most def. I mean, but it's just going to show what you know about business. I mean, if you had a conversation about a partnership, what does that mean? What does a partnership mean? That means that we're going to come together. It could be temporary, not temporary. It could be a short time. Like, okay, let's come together for 2 different events and help each other. Or it could be let's partner like long term and let me, you know, or it could be like, let me come under your brand. You know what I'm saying? If I want to come under your brand, what does that look like? But again, you have to have those conversations and you have to be ready to hear, you know what I'm saying? No, I'm not okay with you using your logo on my logo. Oh, you know, well, that'll be fine. Well, anything dealing with talking about just that part of what you're doing, you're fine to use your brand. But if it's talking about overall or trying to get, you have to use this, you have to be okay with hearing that too. And some people are not okay with the business part of what that looks like. Because at the end of the day, if I go in there and ask for a sponsorship for Virginia Legends and they write the check to Virginia Legends and I go and try to give it to you for Danville Bulldogs, it was for, but it was, you know what I'm saying, through whatever. It's not going to cash. It's not going to mean anything. They don't get tax exempt because it says Virginia Legends when it's not. That's not what the business is. What it is. It's not the partnership. And I had to be okay with that check not saying Virginia Legends. And I had to be okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever. Those conversations have to be had. The real conversations, the raw conversations have to be had. The right questions have to be asked to understand fully what it is. And if it's not going to work, it's just not going to work.
Yeah, and you have to be okay. You have to be okay with it. I think for me, I'm all for helping someone get started. Whatever that looks like. But I also know that I was able to start Danville Bulldogs at a very, 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 very dormant time where nobody was doing nothing.
Yeah.
So like everything that I needed for us to be a 501c3 was done like before we even did. I think I went nonprofit in 2022. We played in 2021. Went nonprofit in 2022. Because of the support that I had. And the thing about the support that I had, my godmother was very, very instrumental on that. I ain't gonna name drop her because people love Facebook.
Yeah.
And she don't do that no more. She don't do the stuff no more. And then I had a parent, Angie Allen. She was my treasurer for 3 years. And man, it was amazing. She did all of the legwork for like sponsorships and donations. And stuff like that. You know, so when we officially became a 501c3, it was like clockwork. It was just, and I was okay with it. But now that I've been doing it for a while, and I see the bigger picture with our community, I'm all for, adopting another sport. I'm all for adopting new programs and teams, whatever. It just has to make sense.
Most definitely. I mean, if it doesn't make sense, there's no point. I mean, doing stuff just to do it, just to say it, is no point. But my call to action for the community, Danville, Pennsylvania County, surrounding areas, is to come together, have a conversation, put these things out there. Let's build something bigger and greater, because it's not about us. It's about the next generation and generations to come.
For sure.
It doesn't have to be a family thing to build legacy. It can be a community thing that builds legacy for, the greater good of the community, for the student athletes that are in this area that need more. A lot of us have gone and done more. Let's actually do more and come together and work together with that. And with that being said, it's just like any relationship. It's like any family ship. It's not always going to be peaches and cream. It's not going to always be good. It's going to be bad days, good days. It's going to be bad conversations and bad situations. It's going to be things that handle wrong. Because, everybody doesn't know how to communicate, this and that or whatever. But as long as we can learn and grow together with that core group of people that comes together to build this, then it'll continue and it'll go.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Again, those conversations have to be able to be had. Tough conversations have to be able to be had. If a bad decision was made, you have to be able to be receive constructive criticism. You have to be able to receive feedback, whether you like it or not. And the goal is to listen, receive it, evaluate it, and then come back and have, conversation if it needs to be go next level. But I mean, you have to be at a mature level. You have to have growth and be growing through the process. Even I'm still growing. Mm-hmm. I'm saying these things, and I'm not saying these things to say I've mastered those. But I personally am working on mastering those things that I just talked about. Tough conversations, listening, taking the feedback, evaluating, and then coming back a better person. You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm with you 100% with coming together as a community, building it. But it's going to start with a conversation. I'm going to host that conversation. I'm just saying that now, that I'm going to host that conversation coming soon as well, just to bring everybody to the table and see what can be built from there, because it's the time is now. I mean, time is now, and there's no need to wait. It's just a matter of having these conversations and being solid, staying the course.
For sure. I think that, and having that conversation, I think generations to come will benefit from that.
Yep.
Right now, I think that there's a group of children who will suffer because of the separation.
Yes.
And that's just being completely honest. Because I'm looking at it from the standpoint of who's coming up.
Yeah, most definitely.
I'm at a sweet spot with the children as far as where I can see them.
Yeah.
From middle school, transitioning into high school, and going through high school. Mm-hmm. And the Bible even says that my children lack. They perish for lack of knowledge.
Yes.
And so, but we are lacking because we choose to.
Yeah. Yeah. It's always a choice. Yeah.
You know what I mean? We lack because we choose to. And, I think that if we really decide to come together, and not saying that having your own opinion is not good. It's great. Have your opinion. But sometimes you can be entirely too opinionated.
Most def. I agree.
And then the ones that suffer are those that are dependent on us to make the right decisions for them.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so, I would be lying if I said I didn't worry about a generation coming up in sports, because we have to get back into, having the Saturday game.
Yeah.
Or we got to get back into packing the stands.
Yes.
We got to get back to having in-home teams.
Yes.
Like I played outside of Danville for AAU 1 year. Mm-hmm. And I've played against teams that were really good, right? But I've also played at home with the Danville Heat, and I've watched Grayson Allen put 30 points up at 15 years old. Mm-hmm. You get what I'm saying? I've seen, the team loaded. I've seen the teams out of D.C. I've seen the Virginia Squires. I've seen the Carolina Gators. I remember when CP3's team first got on the scene.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Before the CP3 Academy was up, I remember those games. You know what I mean? So, we got to get back to making sure, home is rocking out for sure.
Oh, yeah. I'm with that, being on the home team, man. Through all that and, everything that we've been able to, accomplish through conversation today, what would you say your biggest lesson has been?
Learning how to take care of me.
Okay, that's important. Yeah. That's very important.
I'm starting to learn that, and I think the only reason why I am really, really starting to do that is because I know that if I'm not good, my son and my wife, my family will be a wreck for real. Yeah. And so I've learned how to be slow to anger now.
Okay.
That's still a work in progress. I've learned impulse control. And of course my circle is already small, but I'm open to conversations with different people.
Yeah.
Now, just because not only does my son can benefit from what I'm doing right now, but those that are trusting me with their futures right now, I still have a job to do for them.
Yeah.
So just kind of continue to get out of my own way, grow, give myself room for grace.
Yes.
But just living, man. I think the same way that I go into Westwood Middle School is the same way I go through life every day. Not too high, not too low. Just kind of, going with it. But definitely finding time for me. I've been getting a lot of more me questions, and I never want to be a person that is always, talking about what they've done, what they've accomplished, or who they've done this for and who they've done that for. Because even in times where I wasn't doing that, the fact that I was just maybe expressing my excitement for where I've been at, it is always, I've come off arrogant or whatever. And it's just a confidence thing. I don't boast. I don't brag. I don't even post on my socials for real. It's just because I see everybody else doing it. And I just feel like, those that love me, those that follow me, those that believe in what I'm doing will always support.
Yeah.
And even when there's somebody else that's going to try and do what I'm doing or trying to do what I'm doing or whatever the case is, my job is going to be to congratulate them and help them and ask them, do they need anything? Because it ain't number quality over here.
Yeah.
So it's always going to be quality over here.
Quality over quantity.
Every time. And so at the end of the day, my job is not to die with stuff still in the vessel.
Exactly.
So whatever I can do to help, that's the goal.
Yeah. Yeah, that's powerful, man. That's good right there. That's good. Now, that was the biggest lesson. However, I do want to know what you want to leave the people with, man. What you want to leave them with? I mean, both of our target audience is, a lot of the young athletes or just young people in general. But I mean, just a general, like, what you want to leave the people with?
The biggest quote that I probably have thought about in the last season of my life, honestly, is a life without correction is a life without growth.
Yes. A life without correction is a life without growth.
And that's from yours truly, just so we clear.
Oh, I was like the little cool thing. Okay.
Just
Coach Morris. Okay.
Sure.
All right. I like that. That is definitely hits home for me because I can relate 100% to that. Because I'm striving to be the best version of me possible. That's the goal. In order to do that, I have to be able to see what needs to be corrected, to see that I'm growing. Because, I mean, again, back to the learning how to ride a bike thing. I mean, you being corrected, you're doing it wrong. You have to do it. That's a correction to grow to the point where you can ride your bike by yourself or training wheels. I mean, I don't even think we talked about that. I mean, my daughter's 8, so I mean, riding a bike with training wheels at 8. No, we bought a bike with no training wheels, and we're going to learn how to ride this bike without training wheels.
For sure.
And that's what we did. We did just that.
We're
riding a bike without training wheels. We're stopping. We're going. We're riding up hills. We're turning. Like, we're doing everything. And there's still some growth in there because it's only, in a small vicinity, but we're there. So it's the same thing with life. You know what I'm saying? Where do I need to grow? And just being able to be corrected, man.
Sure. And just the biggest thing that I want to really say to the athletes for real, though, fall in love with the process.
One more time.
Fall in love with the process. And I'm not saying anything that I haven't lived or that I'm currently living. You know what I mean? There's things that I still have to do and fall in love with in order for the vision that God gave me to make sense.
Yes.
And that's in all things for what He has shown me, what He's called me to do. just got to fall in love with the process. And sometimes it's not going to feel good.
Most definitely.
And those that you look, and sometimes you can't expect those that are even the closest to you to expect, like, to understand what's been shown to you. Like, never in a million years that I think some of the people that I just would look up to have always, like, tried to pull me from coaching. Wow. But they've never seen the process. They've never seen the result. Because that's just something that I choose not to talk about even around them, because listening to them talk about it,
oh yeah,
don't feel good. So, just fall in love with the process. And I always believe the greater is coming. But you got to put that work in.
Definitely got to put the work in. It was that faith without works is dead.
For sure.
Faith all day, but if you're not doing anything, then it's nothing that's happening, man.
Nothing at all.
Nothing is happening. Wow, this has been powerful, man. Just to recap, we are just recapping, but based on what you said, to follow up with the process. The process is, you growing up with a strong foundation, strong mentorship, the people that were around you, to being coached by your dad and family at a young age, to going into high school ball, having, solid coaches, solid mentors, transitioning to college, right? Mm-hmm. So outside of that, we didn't touch on who you are outside of sports, but you definitely, like you said, you're family man, family as your own family and family in general, as a Morris family. And you also a musician. What is the title at the church for music?
I guess I'm the interim MD right now, musical director right now.
Yes, but have been for some time, right? So have been for some time. That speaks volume in itself. But let's get back into college, right? We go to college and you play football for a couple of months, and then for the rest of the remaining time you're there, you're not playing football. So your whole life growing up, football was your love, passion. Of course, you played basketball as well, but football was it. To get to college where you're, projected to play for your 4 years while you're there, regardless of the level, it stops in the first year. But you still continue. You still continue throughout the process, and that process led you to getting on the other side of that, from athlete in college to coach in college. You know what I'm saying? So just going through that process, and it's important, like you said. Just fall in love with the process. So once you go through it, anything else after that, it'll be fine. You go through one process, and everything else will come with it, man.
Yeah, God has been the consistent piece in my life. If I'm being completely honest, yeah.
Say a word.
Yeah.
Say a word.
That God has definitely been the all be all for all things that I've done. And the things that I have done, things that I am currently doing, I would not be able to do without him. And by no means am I perfect. But he would allow what he allows. And I'm just thankful that he's chosen me to do what what I'm doing. And it's never on my own as to why, we're doing what we're doing and being in places that we're being in. And I make sure that I even give reference to God wherever I'm at, even in front of my kids. And they understand that. It's so funny to hear them talk about, I seen you on TikTok. Somebody had you up there singing. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So, like, that's yeah, for sure. And, but it's all to God, though. Without him, I wouldn't be able to do none of that.
Most definitely. I couldn't agree more, man. Couldn't agree more. Came from that same background, raised in the church. So I couldn't agree more with you, man. Where can we find you on social media?
You can find me on Facebook, of course, Antoine Morris Jr. IG, Danville Bulldog 7v7. My personal IG is Coach Twan 50. But both of those accounts are linked. So if you follow one, you'll have access to the other. But, be on the lookout for what we got going on. Any city leaders that may be looking at this, we're trying to go to Nationals in Rock Hill, South Carolina, Memorial Day weekend.
Oh, yeah, man.
And we need some help. So help us out.
Let's get it, man. Y'all go ahead and support. Y'all follow, support. help the youth get back, man, build this thing up. And, man, listen, Stats Go Up Podcast has concluded another episode, man. Y'all know where we are at Stats Go Up Podcast on all platforms, man. Until next time, we out.